Hello, students. We know in order to conduct a good interview, we have to prepare good questions for the interview. We can call that questions as interview schedule, or in statistical term, questionnaire. Today, let's discuss about the necessities of a questionnaire or how to draft a good questionnaire, drafting a questionnaire or drafting an interview schedule. When we think about how to prepare a good questionnaire, we have to undergo with some valid points, very important points we have to consider before preparing a questionnaire. Then only our questionnaire will become perfect. Otherwise, it may lead to some fallacious conclusions and all in our matters. The informant, the person, will not be able to answer properly if the questions are not being prepared with utmost care. So let's analyze what are the essentialities of a good questionnaire. First of all, the questionnaire, it deals with the number of questions. How many questions can be kept in a questionnaire? Maximum we can keep 10 to 15 questions. If the questionnaire is too long, too big, it discourages the person from completing it. So maximum we can keep 10 to 15 questions in a questionnaire. That's a convenient number. So first point is regarding the number of questions. Second point is regarding the question should be from general to specific. The area of the question, the concentration of the question. Question should start from a general matter, general topic, and that lead to the specific point. For example, if you want to inquire regarding the economic conditions of our nation or economic development, we can ask the question, do you concerned about the infrastructural facilities are sufficient for the development of the country or not? From there, let the person try to answer. From that point, we can go to the specific area where we have to concentrate in agriculture or industry or anything else like that. Clear? Third point is that the questionnaire should be precise and clear. Means the question should be precise and clear. When we read the question or if we are asking the question, the person should get the point behind the question. Instead of asking roughly how much you are spending, how much percentage of your income you are spending on clothing, food and all, we can specifically ask, do you think or do you spend anything on clothing or not? How much you spend on clothing? Specifically we can ask instead of asking a peripheral question to an individual. So regarding the question, we can ask specifically the person, do you spend on clothing? If yes, how much you spend? Like that we can ask clearly. That's the third point. Clarity should be there in the question. And fourth point is that questions should not be ambiguous. Ambiguous means that question is not giving any clarity to the person. It's confusing. It creates confusion in the minds of the informant. Like that we are asking to a person, do you spend a lot of money in books? Suppose we are conducting a survey regarding the reading habits of the individual. If we ask the question like that, do you spend a lot of money in books? What will say the person? Will be totally confused. Whether he's asking regarding my spending or regarding the book habit and all. Instead of that, we can ask clearly, or we can give option. How much spend in books monthly? And we can give 0 to 100 rupees, 100 to 200 rupees, or 200 to 5, like that. We can options. We can ask him to take the correct option instead of asking a rough question to him and confusing question to him. That's the fourth point. Question should not be ambiguous. Clear? And the fifth point is that these questions should not be used any double negatives. Why do we go behind the negatives in questions? We can ask positives. Is it, don't you think the situation of the country is should be changed? Don't you think this smoking should be stopped or prohibited? Don't you think the use of liquor is creating social issues and all? Or wouldn't you think about like that? Such a way, two negatives we can remove. Then it is there, definitely we can say biased response will come from the side of the informant. Instead of that, we can ask the question, do you think smoking should be prohibited in the country? Do you think liquor should be prohibited in the country? We can ask. Then they will say, yes, is my opinion. Or he will say, no, never, don't stop smoking. Don't prohibit smoking. Don't prohibit liquor and all. Is it? We can ask like that. Do you think? Instead of don't you think? Is it? That also we can remove from the question. Then sixth point is that these questions should not be leading to other questions in the minds of the individual. Means that also possible. When we ask the question, that question should give a clarity, as I mentioned before, should not lead to other questions in the minds of the individual. Whether the person asked some other thing or not. Or that will create an issue in the minds of the people. So for example, suppose we are asking a question regarding the taste. What do you think about the taste of high cost tea in our country? Or taste of high cost food in our country? Then definitely the person is having doubt. Whether these people, they are asking the question regarding the taste of high cost tea. It means that only taste is only for high cost teas. Means normal teas are not having any taste. Or a high expensive food only having taste. There is no taste for local foods. Best food is available in local village areas. It's very cheap. So such types of confusing questions should not be kept there in the questionnaire. It lead to other questions, whether they are asking regarding food or its taste or the highly expensive food. Like that. That also should be removed from the questions. Now we finished. I think 6 points. 6 points we finished. Now seventh point, second last point, is that this question should not indicate alternatives to the answer. Means he can give more than one answer for this matter. Such a way, our intention should not be correct in this regard. Like that, suppose a person completed his studies. We can ask the person in two ways. Would you like to do a job after the studies? Or a housewife, or you are going to marry someone else. If you are asking a question to a person, a graduate. Clear? That question is very poor question. We are giving option. We are going to do a job or going to be married. Instead of, we can ask, would you like to do a job after the studies, if possible? Then he will say, yes, I want to do a job. Or she will say, yes, I want to do a job. Why we are opting options for them? Let them choose the option. Let the informant find out the correct option. Instead of that, instead of our alternatives. Why do we give alternatives to the person? Let the person find out the apt alternative in that way from his side, from his wish and will. Clear? And one more thing also we can add regarding the open-ended question or close-ended questions. Some questions we can give like that, open-ended. So it question should be in that way, open-ended or closed-ended question. One question we can give like that. Then the person can speak out his opinions regarding the matters and all. So closed questions we mean he has to say yes or no. Too few questions we can keep it like that, yes or no. Two-way questions and all, yes or no, either yes or no, like that. So, or we can give more options regarding the answers instead of yes or no. Suppose, why do you sell your property? What is the reason behind the sale of your property? Then many options we can give in order to meet the debt or for the higher education of their son or daughter or anything like that, or to any other expenses you can mention. Or one option we can give any other than these three options what we have given there. He can quote the fourth reason. Maybe he might want to shift from this locality to other locality. That option we did not mention there. That also we can write any other relevant options also he can write there. Such a way, a multiple choice, multiple options we can give. Or that is we are saying closed. Any of these we can opt as the answer. But it is open-ended questions. That means that a person should get a chance to explain his response in an open way. That's open for the person. Like that regarding the environmental situation. We are asking a question. What is your opinion regarding the environmental degradation? And how it will affect the existence of human beings? Very open question. The person can support the matter or the person can retard it. Or the same way, from economics we can ask a question. What is your opinion regarding the new economic policy and the effect of that policy in the Indian economic development, especially in agriculture or industry? You can ask like that. That's an open-ended question. The person can explain or he can retaliate the answers. These are the possible things. So let me conclude. Before preparing a questionnaire or an interview schedule, we have to sit and we have to think all these points, and accordingly we have to prepare a question considering all these points, easy questions, open-ended questions, precise questions. Then only our interview or our questionnaire will be perfect. So considering all these points, we have to prepare a questionnaire. Thank you for watching my class.